So that was just a quick glimpse of an Electrolux twin turbo Z551. I picked this up from eBay last weekend. I got this, a cylinder, and a brand new, unused 1981 500 series toolkit for £12. So it works out as £4 each. It was worth it for the toolkit, that's what I was after. Got these and I thought, oh, I could just sell them on or something. But I thought before I do that, I'll have a go at restoring them. So this upright has been cleaned up. It's not been polished because I haven't got my new drill. I won't get that till Christmas. So I have the pad to go on it so I can polish it properly. But it's had like a Vuplexy type spray over it. It's all been washed, taken to bits, cleaned the cable and the plug, all in the back. It's not a brilliant job, but it's definitely cleaner than it was. Now the only problem with this, it's lovely. It's a lovely machine. The handle is really sturdy. I don't know if I can bring this closer, but you can see it's a really chunky handle that you didn't get on the earlier 500 series models. So I think this was the first of the kind of replacements for that. I think this one dates from about 1986. But yeah, so the problem is it's to do with the life of the vacuum. So at some point somebody has either not fitted the brush roll back into its housing properly, or there's been a problem with the belt. They might have used the wrong belt or something. And underneath, I haven't got a screwdriver to hand so I can't show you, but underneath on this side the housing has sort of melted, so there's a little sort of moulding in the hood where the bearing goes into, because unlike the early ones, these have got like a little, I don't know what you'd call it, it's not quite a square, it's sort of a rounded square I suppose, like a moulded piece of metal on the bearing for the brush bar that fits into the two mouldings either end of the hood. This side is perfectly fine, fits nicely, but this side I noticed when I was cleaning it up that all the plastic is kind of, it looks like it's melted. So I've done as best as I can to fit it in, and there might be a way that you can, I don't know, fill it in or something, but how strong that's going to be up to persistent use is anybody's guess. But yeah, I've put it in as best I can. It's held down quite securely by the base plate, but it does make a bit of a funny rattling noise. You'd have heard it when I switched off then. So it's a shame. I mean, if in future maybe a replacement hood becomes available, then it'd be worth doing a swap. But apart from a little discoloration, because I'll show you inside, so it looks a kind of like beigey grey inside. Let's take the bag out. You see, this is the kind of grey that it should be. I've made my own donut, it's not very good, but it works. And that's the kind of beigey grey. The light in here probably doesn't pick it up, but to the naked eye you can see a bit of a difference, but it's not too bad. But yeah, it's clean, it works. It's got one of those Pink Roses air fresheners in, so it smells like you're visiting an elderly relative, but it's fine. It runs nicely. The motor is fine. I've cleaned the motor up, and without the brush roll and the belt on, it sounds lovely. But yeah, it will do, but you just can't, I wouldn't clean the whole house with it. I'd probably do a quick dash over the living room and hope that it didn't fall to bits. So yeah, that's quite a nice one. Anyway, that's the first part. Second part is, what was the other vacuum that I got in this £12 haul? So here's a bit of a clue. Now this is later, both of these machines actually are later than the period that I like to collect and that I'm keen on. So I like all the 1970s and early 80s upright cylinders. I think my interest kind of stops once you get past 303, 312, 96. After that, I'm not really a fan of the look of the things like the 350, 350E. 355 doesn't do anything for me. I like to see them, and I watch videos that other people do that demo them, but for me to collect, it's the earlier ones that I prefer. So anyway, the Flip Over Floor Tour fan club has a new friend. So this, I hope you can see, 2 plastic ones with some kind of like pattern on them. Sorry, it's really sunny here today, so I've had to kind of close the blinds because you couldn't see anything at all before, but it doesn't make for good lighting. So they've got a bit of a pattern on, 2 of them, the flip over, whereas in the past the metal inserts would be metal, these are all plastic. So it's kind of made it easy to clean, but I've still got to pick bits out of the brush, but it's not in bad condition. So it kind of tells you it's a bit of a basic machine. Then we have the hose, if I can get it out of its housing. So it's the typical triple lug that plugs into the hose. It's crush proof, and it's got this squeaky little plastic handle, bit similar to the type that you get on the 550 and 560 toolkits. So yeah, it's perfectly fine. And so the machine itself, this is a new one to me. This is a Z144 Slimline, or Special it says on there. So it's dinky, it's really light. It hasn't got a clip for the plug, so that's why my fingers are grabbing hold of it. Yeah, it's pretty cute. It was absolutely filthy. It looked like it had been used in a coal mine when I opened it up. And it didn't sound great either. So the chap that I bought these from demoed both of them, and they sounded terrible. But I didn't say anything at the time because I thought it's fine. If I do get around to it, I will clear them up, but it's taken less than a week. So this one, it has got a bit of damage on here. So this is where the cable wraps around. It's quite good actually, because it's a bit more secure than things like the 302, 303, where you're having to wrap it all the way around the machine, and it often comes off and things, but this is actually a bit more secure. That's your carry handle, so you can carry it around. It's so light, you could go up the stairs, not have to put it down, you could just hold it and do your cleaning. I've cleaned up the motor, I've cleaned the motor on both of these. This one is probably the best. It sounds so much better than it did. If only I'd have done a video before, then you would have believed me when I say what an improvement it is. The motor was a bit tricky, and I've done something that I don't normally do. I can't show you because it means unscrewing everything, but it's still got the suppressor. Now, with the older type, they were easy to get rid of. They were on a little board, and you could unscrew everything, detach the motor wires, and you could sort of unsolder the suppressor and it would pull off the board, and then you could just fit everything back together. This one is different. It's a slightly different motor. It's got 3 parts to it, and the suppressor isn't on a board. It is the board. So the motor wires, which there isn't much slack, go straight into the edge of the suppressor, and the bit that the on switch connects to, that's part of the suppressor as well. So I was a bit annoyed really, thinking ideally I'd like it out of the way. It's not, you know, you can use them once they go. This one hasn't gone yet, and it actually looks in quite good nick. So I don't know what the life of this machine has been. It's got some paint and bits on that I haven't quite managed to get off, but as I say, when I get my drill, I'll polish them properly. These will be my test ones. But I've basically had to leave the suppressor where it was. I couldn't get one of the motor wires off the connections, whether it's rusted or it's just too stiff, I don't know. So I took the motor apart and actually kept the central bit connected still to what lies under here that the switch is housed in. So once I managed to clean it all out, put it all back together, I was dreading the suppressor actually going. So it might go in this video when I put it on, who knows, but at least we know once it does go, once the smell clears, that's it, it can't go again. And I think they run fine with them sat there. Bags are interesting, and getting to the bag is interesting. So you've got like a grip here, and you sort of just lift it, and this whole part lifts off. I soaked these as well for 24 hours and there's still carbon dust in it, but I can't physically get to it even with a toothbrush. So the bag is the sort that slides in like that, and then you've just got this housing. So it looks dirty, it's all been cleaned, it's all been soaked, but it's just persistent. Can I get that back in? There's like a black piece of plastic there that slides into. A bit like some of the Hoover models. I know our Vogue, when I was younger, that was a similar thing. You had to slide the bag in. There's a filter at the bottom. There's one behind that. I've washed these. I've not replaced them. There's filters here. And there's a filter here. Again, they look really dirty, but they have been through the wash and they smell of aerial biological powder. So, yeah, so that's the bag. And the bag code for these, it fits quite a few. Here we are. There's the bag, and it's E5, so you can see that it fits quite a few models. So I just got the one packet because I just wanted to try this out just to see what it was like. So if I do get rid of this, the bags will come with it. If I put this on, nice and simple. Now, before I turn it on, well, I've got to plug it in, but it's quite funny because there's that bag there, and I think there's room for it to expand. When you turn the machine on, there's like almost like a bang, not a bang, but a thud, as the bag suddenly gets pulled towards the back of the bag compartment as the suction kicks in. It's quite funny. It panicked me when the guy switched it on the first time. I thought it exploded, but then I realised, it's the air through the bag. It makes sense. So I'll get this plugged in, hose and everything all set up, and I'll just give it a quick whiz round. It's better because of this for like the tiled floor out there. It's ideal. I did my kitchen with it this morning actually, and it was quite nice to use. It's a bit low, so you haven't got much of a hose handle. Yes, you've got two wands, but it's not the greatest kind of height. Ideally, you'd want a hose for somebody 6 foot like me. You'd want the longer hose handle to there, plus the two wands. That would mean I would use this, but I'm having to kind of stoop, which is not good. But yeah, I'll just get this set up and then we'll have a quick look. Okay, so get ready for the thud. Or the smoke from the suppressor, depending if it wants to go on me. Alright, here goes. Yeah, that motor sounds really healthy now. You've probably heard on some of my other vacuums that when they've not had the motor service, that there's a bit of a grind as it switches off. But this one, now it sounds really sweet. It's got some good suction on it. I think it's is it 550 watt? Seems more powerful than that, but here we go. Here's the sticker. And this is a sticker. Now, is that... My eyesight's not very good, so I can't tell whether that's focused or not. But I'll read it out anyway. Z144, product number 9003190, serial number 826, so 26th week of 1988. What else? Oh yeah. Oh, wait a minute, what does that say? Does that say 750? Can you... In this... Oh, hang on. This corner here, is that 750? Is either a misprint or my eyes, but that looks like 750. So that's the same as a 345, blimey. No wonder it was lifting that mat out off its hinges. You don't have mats on hinges, you know what I mean. The one thing I didn't show you was underneath. So in the old days, 303, you'd have two wheels and a glide plate. This has got a single wheel. It's not got a tyre on it, it's all plastic. So it's pretty similar to the 305, where the wheel doesn't spin around, it's just static. But yeah, it's really light. It's not very hot. It's a good little machine, actually. So yeah, a new one on me. I've looked online for information. I can't really find anything about these. I know that design, there's other similar ones out there, like in the nice sort of pale green colour, and other various sort of concoctions of colour. But as a little runaround for your hard floors, I think this is pretty good, and I'm quite glad I've cleaned this up. I might keep it, I might sell it, I'm not sure. It's the storage that's the problem. No instructions for it, but you know, they're pretty basic. There was no small tool, so I'm assuming, could be wrong, so if anybody knows, please say, that it would have come with a matching crevice tool and butterfly tool in the grey. But yeah, I'm quite chuffed with that. And so that, along with the twin turbo, yeah, it's quite handy for £12. Oh, let me show you the accessory kit that I got for the 500 series, just so you believe me. I think I put a photo on anyway. Clang, clang, clang. Here we go. So, a familiar box, so we can see that it's for the 502S 506. I think, because it's got like the metal pole and whatnot, I think this was the first iteration of this that came out when those vacuums did in 81. Because I've seen later adverts in catalogues where the tools are the plastic version. So 81, 82 I would say, and there's no date on the box or anything. The box was a little bit battered, so I had to cut it up, and it's quite good. I'm going to swap these out and put ones that I use, because these won't actually get used. So apart from a couple of little scrapes, this is perfect. And inside, again, you won't really be able to see, yeah, the camera won't pick it, excuse me. There's no muck in there at all, and there's very little sign that anything's actually been into the end of this, if you pardon the expression. We have good old crevice tool. I've actually just put this in there, but this didn't come with it. This is just one of mine. This is probably the best bit. The old Flying Fanny. It's pristine, and I've not even had to polish it. I just gave it a wipe with a anti-back wipe. There's not a mark on it, and these are really stiff. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. So that's really good. And then of course the hose. You watch that, I'll fall over now. That's me there. There we go. So the hose, again, not touched. I just had to vacuum across this ribbed bit to get the dust out. But yeah, look at the end. The end is perfectly smooth. It's not been whittled away by being shoved into tools and things. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. So for £12, for a pristine kit with its box, a great little powerful cylinder and the twin turbo that's in the room, I don't think I've done too bad.